Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Josh Tyler, and you're watching Rush TV. We have a really cool interview with Bob Reasso, who is the new executive director of the Combine Academy in North Carolina. This is a really cool partnership that Rush has with a soccer-specific, sports-specific boarding school. And let me tell you, Bob is a legend. He's one of the most successful college coaches in NCAA history. Two-time National Coach of the Year. He boasts a 436 record to 209 losses and 79 ties. What that means is that Bob has won or tied 75% of the games that he's played. He's coached in 16 NCAA tournaments, 4 Final Fours. 3 of them came at Rutgers University, and they lost in the national championship game to UCLA. And then in 2015 with Pfeiffer University, they went undefeated and won the NCAA Division II National Championship. Undefeated for an entire season. He's coached over 60 players who's gone on to play pro across the seas and MLS. 24 current players or former players are playing in the MLS right now. All right, Bob, how are you today, my friend?
I'm good, Josh. How are you, brother?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us. You look in a comfy room there, so you got everything. You got a big office there.
Well, it's my house.
Yeah.
All our houses are our offices now.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So, hey, real quick, I know it's tough to talk about your background, but let's talk a little bit about what you've done. Because you are one of the most successful coaches in NCAA history. So,
Wow. Pressure.
Yeah. Give us a little bit to talk about your background a little bit.
Okay. I don't like doing it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I've been a college coach at Division I and Division II for over 40 years. I coached at Rutgers University, at Pfeiffer University. You know, we've been to taken my team to 4 Final Fours. We won the 2015 Division II National Championship, undefeated. Matter of fact, our last 65 games at Pfeiffer, we were 60 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie. So, I had good players because players make coaches. It's not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So I had very good players. And, I've had 60 guys go on to be pros, including Peter Vermees, who's the Sporting Kansas City coach, Alexi Lalas, who's the pundit everybody knows from Fox Soccer. So the guys play in Europe, Egypt, Germany, all over the place. And, of course, 24 guys played in the MLS. So I think the other thing I would point out is that, coaching is stealing more than anything else. And I was an Adidas coach for 29 years, and they paid me to study anywhere in the world. So I was able to go to every European Championship, every World Cup, but more importantly, study at Barcelona 3 times, AC Milan, Ajax, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Chelsea. So, coaching is stealing. So, I've had the luxury of just being able to steal from a lot of different places. So when I train the guys I train, I'm not just training them what I got for my A license or what I got in NSCAA courses now, or either soccer courses now, coaches courses now. I'm training them like I saw the pros train, and really stealing from guys like Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, Sir Alex Ferguson, on and on.
That's an interesting that coach is stealing, because you're right. That's how you get better. And a quick question about Alexi Lalas. So, were you coaching him during his long hair days?
Oh yeah, no doubt. And everybody said to me, "Did you make fun of that?" Heck no, I didn't make fun of that. That was part of his. That was part of his shtick.
Yeah, I think so many.
Goatee grew when he was on the national team.
Yeah, I think so many people think like they see Alexi Lalas on TV now, and they don't realize. It's like this is. His short hair and no goatee. I was like, he was wild, man. He was. That's fun.
I'll tell you what, he's an interesting character because he's brilliant actually, and he's English major. Has his own band, still cutting records. Opened up for Hootie and the Blowfish on a European tour. Played all the trendy clubs in New York and New Jersey when he was in college. So he's not only was a great player, but he's just a great guy and an interesting guy. So
that's fascinating. I didn't know that. So. So let's kind of dive in, and I think the first question is just what is a boarding school?
Well, we're a high school and a college, prep school, boarding school, so kids can come and stay on campus and immerse themselves in our academics and also in our football. And we're an academy kind of similar to IMG and Mount Verda, where they take their athletics as serious as they do their academics. So our kids get a If they're high school, they get a great academic environment. If they're prep school, they're taking, SAT, SCT prep classes. They're taking maybe taking a course over to raise their GPA, and then we're training and trying to make them bigger, stronger, faster, technically better, and tactically better, and working on the game.
And so, what is about combine that is different? Because I mean, there are some couple of the boarding schools, but what makes combine different?
Well, I think that first of all, the ownership group is fabulous. I mean, they're two former Clemson basketball players. One of them, Trevor Booker, just finished up an NBA career. They're venture capitalists. They're part owners of DC United, so they're really like really sharp guys. And they created this really on basketball. It started with basketball. And our basketball, we have 60 players on campus, 4 teams. Our top team was ranked 14th in the country this year, and 8 or 9 of the guys on the first team got Division I scholarships. The rest pretty much went Division II or JUCO. So they got a big rep there. They started baseball, and they get this similar rep in baseball. They tried soccer a couple of years ago. It didn't go well. They didn't think they had the right person. I don't even know who it was, to be honest. But they brought me in, and they basically said, "Here, you have a blank slate. Create a football environment." And so I get the luxury of really, dreaming up whatever I want to do. We're going to have a street football environment so kids can have an environment to play winners stay on. We will, of course, do technical and tactical trainings. I would almost give them a coaching course because I have the time to actually bring them in the classroom and teach them tactically, which, club coaches really don't get an opportunity to do that much. And then, we'll break them down physically. We're very lucky. Our strength and conditioning coach is a Portuguese guy. So Miguel, he cut his teeth on football. So I don't have to train him. You talk to, most of the time I get an American strength and conditioning guy, and they want to train my guys like American football players, and it's a different sport. We run on our legs. So you can't have us maxing out with squats, like 2 days before a game. So, and they struggle to gather that sometimes, but Miguel gets it. So from our athletic trainer to our strength and conditioning people to the football environment we're going to create, it's really, we're hoping it's going to be something very unique. And the competition is going to be great, which is another thing. We're going to play college teams. We're going to play rush club teams. We're going to play professional academy teams. So, when we play during the whole academic year, which is another big advantage, and we'll have video on them, and we'll have GPS. We're getting GPS tracking systems so we can see their heat map. So we're running it as you would a professional club.
And the cool thing is, you mentioned they're able to play. So they're on campus, living there, attending school as normal, but they are engulfed in almost an entirely soccer environment there. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. We were just talking about our typical day. We were working out as the staff yesterday, and our guys leave breakfast. Because of course they eat on campus too. And then the first thing we'll do is they'll go to a training session. We'll have a full field training session. And I always love training in the morning at Rutgers because it's the first thing guys do. And that means they're really ready for the rest of their day. They'll come back then, and the high school kids will go to class. The prep school kids might be preparing for the end, go to an SAT class. And then, we'll go into a strength and conditioning or agility training. We might have 3 stations going on where part of the group is working with strength and conditioning, part of them is doing agility, and another group is doing technical training. And then we'll kind of rotate through those stations for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then what's great about it is we have this huge room that has a large screen TV. And with our sport, football's played every afternoon. Whether you got an FA Cup game, a Monday Premier League game, a Friday Bundesliga game, let's forget about the weekends, the Champions League, FA Cup games. So they'll always be on, so it can be recreational for the guys, but there's going to be a lot of times where I'm going to sit there with a pointer, an electric pointer, and talk to them about the game tactically. Why was that goal scored? What happened there? How did it break down? Or how did they make the goal? So we'll be doing a lot of that. And then they'll finish up their classes, have a bite to eat. And then, we might go out for another session. We might really just do a striker session, or we'll be working on our back four. Or they have the opportunity to go to our street football environment and play winners stay on. So you think about it, the amount of football these guys can play. I mean, I'm ready to sign up myself. I mean, does that sound like a dream? Sounds like a dream day, doesn't it?
Oh man, it's as close to like the full professional environment that
Yeah.
I mean that's just incredible.
And they don't, the reality is you can't do that 48 hours in and around a game. You have recovery, you have your pregame environment. And we're not in that situation. There's going to be a lot of football. It's a football stream.
Man, such a cool environment, and I've talked to some people about why boarding school and why this. I'm like, if you love the game, because you really have to love the game, because I don't think this is correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think this is a situation like, I kind of like soccer. Like, this is something that I love the game, and I just want to get better, because you talk about the tactically side of things is you're right, we just don't have an opportunity in our sport to talk tactics with most people, and to be able to sit down and watch games with someone with your knowledge is incredible. Just to have someone, because you see the game so differently than anyone else, just because of your experience, and so now you get to break the game down to someone who is in Egypt, someone who NCAA championships, and someone who with Alexi Lalas, and so it's like all these things you see the game so differently, and just that alone is cool. Just to sit down with you and listen to you talk about games. So what a neat, just what a cool environment that's going to be.
Well, it gives them an opportunity because quite often when you watch a game, there's sometimes guys that are really motivated will watch their position, which is great. And that's what they should do when they go and watch a game. You're watching a game for enjoyment. So I'm not going to do that every time there's a game on.
Right.
It'll get a little old. But, you want to give them time to watch for enjoyment, watch their own position. Maybe I'll ask them what they saw during the match so we can, they can think themselves through situations. But the big thing is the more they know about the game, the more they understand, the more we can teach them, the better they get. And what I said to a young man today who I was speaking to about it, you think about it, the first time I dropped into a collegiate environment, because college coaches lose their job if they don't win.
Mm-hmm.
And they get a very short period of time to prepare their players. When they get thrown into a collegiate environment, their heads will be spinning because it's going to be much more intense, much more demanding emotionally, physically than they've ever had before. That won't happen to our kids because I'm going to put them through it. So our kids are going to walk into that first week of preseason camp in college and say, okay, I got this. I'm comfortable with this. I've played at this pace. This has been demanded of me. I understand what the coach is talking about because, look, when you bring in kids, because you get kids from all, I'm talking about top academies, even professional academies. You bring them in and you talk about certain things, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And really, they give you a blank look, like what are you talking about? So they will assimilate so much quicker by coming to our program when they get to a collegiate environment.
And I think that is one of the biggest problems, for me being in the college game as well, coaching. It's kids just they're no way prepared for the college game, and it's really hard to get them prepared, especially with club and it's not a fault of club that you can only train 2-3 days a week. And, you say, well, why don't you train 6? You don't have the field space. You don't have the budget to do it, and you can't get these kids to do it. And so you're right. They get to college, and it's not a lack of skill sometimes. It's just a lack of understanding even what the commitment is, understanding that I was the best person on my club team, but when you get to college, there's someone chasing you. And so to put these kids in this environment of this is what expected, like, you're right. I mean, this is more of a tense environment than collegiate, So I think so. I mean, it gets them more. Man, it's so. What I guess I keep saying, what an opportunity, but I mean, just such a cool environment there.
Well, it's an opportunity too for the Rush kids. I thank Tim and all the people in Rush have just been fabulous to me, and and really assimilating us into their programs. We were just on a call today about it, and it's a great club structure. And as you said before, nobody's knocking the club coach. If they had the kids as long as we're going to have them, they would probably be doing the same thing. But it's an incredible, for me personally, because I've been over the last decade, I've been an athletic director at colleges and universities and coaching my team. So now to be able to go back like I was when I was a Division I coach and just strictly focus on, and without NCAA restrictions, by the way, because you're limited with how much time you can spend with the NCAA, and just strictly concentrate on the player in the game. I mean, it's really, I'm really, I can't tell you how excited I am to get going and get after it. So.
Yeah, that's someone asked me. I was talking to one of the players. I think you chatted with him as well. One of the guys from Colorado, and I said that the cool thing is I said just talk to Bob and listen to how much he cares about the players. I mean, because I know you told me. I mean, I think you've moved in, but your house is as close to the campus as possible,
Yeah.
because you do want to be there for the kids. And these are the cool things. Like, I don't want to downgrade your experience, but there's other guys that have experience like you.
Sure, without question.
And there's guys that could coach the game, but it's your passion that for the kids is what has really struck me over the conversations we had. Is that you continue to say how much you want to see these kids succeed, and it's not some. It's not some line that you're saying to get kids in. Like, you really and truly want to see these kids succeed. And like I said, you that's what I told the moms. Like, he's living as close as campus as possible, so the kids need him. Like, he's there. So I think that,
I'm an educator, Josh.
Yeah,
I'm an educator. I mean, I have a master's of education, so I'm a teacher. So that's when I was being the director of athletics and coaching, and when I was away from the game for 1 year when I first got to be an athletic director, and what I missed, and I think when I was in Cairo, I understood it better because I had so much going on. I'm in a different country. There's so many different things you have to deal with, and sometimes we wouldn't go out and train till 7:30 at night, and I would start my day at 7 o'clock in the morning. But it was the most excited and the most fun I had all day long because I'm on the field. They're not going to bowl around. You're talking football. I mean, and so I made a commitment to myself that's what I want to do now. I want to really dedicate myself to just the game, and just focus in on what we all love. I mean, that's our passion. So, and like you said a moment ago, this is a luxury for me right now at this time in my career. I'm at a point where and this is funny too. It's the first time in my life I will not be judged on W's and L's. Let's face it, college coaches, you don't win, you're losing your job, so not as much as professional coaches, but it's happening more and more, in college. But for me, my job is strictly for the first time in my career. And it's always been about development. You always want to develop the player and the person. I mean, that goes without saying. But really, results don't matter. And don't get me wrong. When we step on the park every day and we play somebody, we want to win. We want to be competitive as heck. But really, what matters is taking each individual and developing them as far as they possibly can on every aspect of their life. And then, you don't take credit for your players. I've tried never to take credit for what my players have done in their career because all you are is a facilitator. You kind of get them and then you help them along the way, for a little while, and then you send them off, and it's up to them to make it. If they're not good enough, they're not. As I said before, players make coaches. So I'm thankful to have the opportunity to work with them more than anything else.
And so I want to kind of talk a little bit about kind of combine specifically. I know you have two different options. You have high school and then you have postgraduate. So if we can kind of talk about the difference there of what those two things look like.
Well, high school is really like a high school anywhere. The advantage is that, we're only going to have 150, maybe max out at 200 student athletes on campus. So the classes are very small and you get a lot of individual attention. So that's wonderful for a student. And by the way, everybody on campus is an athlete. Everybody's doing the same thing you are. They're trying to squeeze everything out of themselves academically and athletically. The prep school is an opportunity, as all prep schools are, it's a gap year really. It doesn't count towards your college eligibility. So you can raise your GPA, you can raise your SAT scores, and you can become bigger, as we said earlier, a better athlete, a better player. So, and then what happens after that is I then become, whether they leave high school and they want to move on to college, or they come from a prep school and they want to move on to college, myself and my staff will be their college counselors. We'll be the one, instead of a recruiting organization, sending out 1,000 emails to coaches and, with kids, and all the coaches hitting delete, 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 I have personal relationships with a lot of college coaches. If I don't know them, guess what? They probably played against my teams or I knew their coaches. So, there's some kind of connection always whenever you talk. Let's face it, it's a small community. So, so we'll be out there trying to match kids up with certain coaches, certain environments, geographically. Where do they want to live? They want to live in the country. They want to live. They want to go to a city school. It's a big decision. What's their major? What do they want to major in? Okay, what size school? Big school, small school? And then you have to look at the athlete himself and say, okay, who meshes with who? You know, you've got, I know so many great coaches, but everybody's got a little different approach. And some kids will flourish more in this guy's environment than this guy's environment just because of who they are.
So let's talk about combine specifically. There's some aspects I think is really cool, and you brought up a little bit, but you have the sports performance aspect of combine. So let's talk a little bit about that aspect of it.
Well, Miguel is our guy. Is like I said, he's Portuguese, which is phenomenal. And he cut his teeth on football. So he started out training football. So, and I'm not knocking American strength and conditioning coaches, but if they're, when I was at a school with American football, I was at a couple of them, and our strength, one was an athletic director at Hudson University of Maine, and of course, when I was at Rutgers University, we had a lot of strength coaches. They're great strength coaches, and some of them really were willing to work with different sports, and other ones try to push you into what they wanted, and that's, a football or a soccer player is just a different breed, and really, Miguel is so excited to train our kids because he can finally start training. Because he's been training basketball players and baseball players and doing a fabulous job. But he can start training the players that he loves to work with. He even said to me, "Can I do warm-ups, coach? Can I be on the field? You can be there all the time, brother. Because who better to have to warm your guys up? I mean, come on. I mean, he knows all about it. So yeah, we're both really excited to be working together. And he's a great guy, and he's got a great setup. And he uses all the modern techniques, so it's exciting.
So that's neat. And then we talk about the facilities, and what are the couple you've had time to walk around on campus, especially lately? Probably an empty campus walking around, but to talk about the facilities and amenities. I know they're top notch at Combine. So, what are some of your favorite things that you have on campus?
Well, they just built a brand new dorm. Each room has a flat screen TV in it, So when guys want to play Fortnite, or they want to play FIFA,
Did you flat screen TVs included?
Yeah, in the room. Yeah.
Wow. And, you say that like it's like no big deal. That's a big deal. Like that's a selling feature. You're like, oh yeah, they get a flat screen TV.
We care about the sport. So if they can't watch it, and they can't do what they do. They've got to have fun in their downtime. That's part of it. This is supposed to all be fun too. I want to let you know that. We're going to train hard, but everything should be fun too. I think that's cool. I think our gym is cool. Our athletic training room and our trainers phenomenal. We're going to have a futsal league during the winter. So I think I mentioned this before, and this is why I want that street football environment too, where they play winners stay on. Because kids need a time to play without coaches chirping in their ear. You need to experiment. You need to be kicked. You need to how to hold somebody. You can train somebody how to hold somebody off, or they're playing in either a street football environment or a futsal environment. Somebody's leaning on them, they stick their elbow in their chest and they get them heck off them. And that's how you learned, 20, 30 years ago. You just learned by kicking each other. But they need an environment to experiment, to fail, to be successful without the constant chirping of coaching too. So I'll watch them play futsal. I'll watch them when they're playing street football, but I'll be doing it for fun. I won't be coaching them, so those are a couple environments that I think are going to separate us too, because again, we have the time, and we have the facilities to enable us to give them the chance to play free.
So I think a couple questions from a parent perspective is, the environment there. So we're at in North Carolina. Where are you guys located at?
We're just north of Charlotte in a small town called Lincolnton. It's a county seat, so there's movie theaters within 5 minutes. We have malls around us. We have premium outlets, which we'll be taking the guys to. We'll also, we're close to University of North Carolina, Charlotte, where, we're going to be on a lot of D2 team campuses playing their reserves. But, we're also 2 miles from Clemson, 2 hours from Clemson. So we'll take road trips to see some big time, Division I games, whenever there's big games coming in. And, we want them to have fun too. Like I said, so one of my assistant coaches is going to strictly be, not the only thing he'll do, but he'll be involved in kind of setting up the social calendar. Okay, we're going to Walmart today, or we're going over to the mall today. This is the time we're leaving, and they'll drive them over to the mall and hang out with them. So, we're going to try and, it's interesting. We're handling their whole concept. I'm going to have, 4 assistants, a goalkeeper coach.
Yeah, very very good. And so yeah, it's a safe environment there because you're not. From what it seems, I haven't actually visited. I don't say it's in the country, but it's you guys are. It's safe out there.
Yeah, we're a 42 acre campus,
Okay.
which is gated. You can't get in without an ID. And we'll have security on campus. We'll have, probably again, let's just say arbitrarily we're going to have 150 kids on campus. It's going to be 8 to 10 people living on campus, our staff living
Yeah.
on campus. And then, I might live on campus in the fall because of the COVID situation and how we have to deal with that.
Mhm.
But if not, I'll be living 5 minutes away. So, so we'll be, we're not going to be breathing down their necks and trying, because they need, see, part of the process of getting ready to go to college, whether it's from high school or prep school, is to learn to be on your own. So you got to let your guys breathe a little bit, but at the same time, they need to, they got to learn how to do laundry. They have a barber shop on campus. They got to get out there and start doing what they're going to do in college. So it'll make it the assimilation, both playing and lifestyle to college, a lot easier.
Yeah, very good. And so I guess a couple last questions is the partnership with Rush because it is the I guess the Rush Combine. So how does that? What's that look like? And what is the partnership with Rush? And
that means, first of all, we're going to play, Rush clubs, which is great for us. We have all the marketing people, Adam, all the people, yourself, and all are helping us with our getting players and recruiting for us. But just being involved with that brand is tremendous for us. And plus, it gives the players an incredible discount. An incredible discount. We cost $44,000 a year for room, board, tuition fees. And because of Tim's efforts with Jonah, our CEO, that price is $17,000. That's like everybody getting a $27,000 scholarship. That's a heck of a program for Tim and the Rush family to give to their kids.
Yeah, that's neat.
Opportunity.
Yeah, that's
and a lot of kids
incredible.
right now, they might have been planning on going to college, and literally the college coaches haven't been able to recruit off campus for 2 months already now. So a lot of the college coaching or recruiting is frozen. So there's a lot of kids right now saying, "What am I going to do?" And I've had a couple of kids coming from New Jersey, and one of them's the best goalkeeper in New Jersey. Tremendous kid. Had some offers, but decided not to take them because he was born like in December. So he's kind of that mid-year kid.
Yeah.
So, he's probably going to get redshirted his first year anyway. So another year of growth and development and maturity for him is, as a player and as a person, is a no-brainer. So, Rush has done, the Combine Rush Soccer Academy is a wonderful opportunity for the players in Rush.
And then the youngest is can you go as a freshman or sophomore, or are you primarily junior, senior?
No, you can go as a freshman or sophomore.
Okay.
Now it's hard leaving your friends and family. But again, that's if you're a young professional footballer overseas, they go off to academies, whether it be David Beckham or Messi, they leave at a very young age, and they go off and if they want to be real footballers, they leave at a very young age. They leave their family and they go with a professional club.
Is I think one of the misconceptions that people are asking me, or is like, do you have to be a top 20 player in the country? I mean, if you're a pretty good footballer, but just want to get better, that's still a place there for you. You don't have to be the next Messi or the next Landon Donovan.
Without question, because there's a college out there for everybody. And one of the things, and I always said this when I was running because I ran college choice sessions in all my camps. I met with kids to try and do all the things I want to do here at Combine. Is one of the greatest values is if they raise their SAT, they get a good GPA, and they just become a better player. Let's say they are a Division III player. There's no shame with being a Division III player because some of the Division III programs are incredible. They're phenomenal. The key is they may get accepted because every coach has a list. Every coach has a list that they put into their admissions person. Say, okay, I may only get 5, but these are the 5 I want to have. I don't care if it's an Ivy League school or an SCAT school. So everybody's got a list. Their goal should be if they are a Division III player and they know they want to go to Williams or Amherst or Washington and St. Louis, so many great Division III schools academically, that maybe they can get accepted to a school they might not normally get into because they've improved their academics, they become a better player, and they fit into that top 5 of that coach's list.
Okay, well, I greatly appreciate your time. Again, I think this is such an incredible opportunity for, as you just mentioned, for anyone that loves and has the passion. I may send my 7-year-old down there for the next 15 years, and so, but it is.
We'll make it special.
Yeah, exactly. He'll help you out. Bob, thank you so much for taking the time, and we look forward to chatting.